When you're interviewing somebody, how much of the interview is what you want to ask them versus what they want to say? Will you ever speak with somebody and say, okay, here's what we're going to talk about? Or will they say, I want to promote my sponsor? Or is it just ad lib, let's get on and talk?
To be honest, that a lot of it, I think it's more natural if you just have conversation and you wing
Yeah.
it. I don't like to over prepare myself for interviews because I don't like to overthink it. I like to be kind of authentic and natural in an interview. But yeah, our guests, like some of them, like our old school guests that we've had on our podcast, like Kenny Roberts. Man, I've had Kevin Schwantz, guys like that who want to be more prepared. The newer guys, they kind of just like call in and let's get it on. So it depends who it is, honestly. It's but I try to just be ready for whatever. Sometimes people aren't very good at interviews, and I got to kind of carry
Yeah.
the interview and keep it going. And then I've had riders like Brad Baker is a good example where I just sit back and let them talk. Like I just, some guys just kind of carry themselves and they just keep talking, and that makes my job easy. So I try to give them the platform. At the end of the day, they're our guests. People get tired of hearing from me, so I let them kind of guide the ship a little bit, and whatever they want to talk about, I'm usually really cool with, and I'm totally cool with people promoting their brand on our show or whatever they want to do because at the end of the day, they're taking time to come on.
Mhm.
We don't pay our guests, so when they come on, they're doing us a favor and doing the fans a favor. So yeah, whatever they want to talk about, I'm usually cool with.
You know what I like about your show is you are brutally honest. You just say what
Yeah,
you're thinking. You don't filter yourself through the lens or the a microphone and say just what others might want to hear. If Jeff Emig isn't wearing the right hat, you're going to call him out. I mean, that's a
well,
lot of
Yeah.
I'm
fun.
gonna
So
share
it's
this
so it's
with
like a real podcast.
Corey. I helped you with Dalton in Dallas last year, and y'all gave me this great shirt, and it was a great opportunity, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think being honest is cool. When I was younger, I used to overthink, I guess, kind of what people. I tried to be too politically correct, and I always worried about what people thought. And honestly, it wasn't me. So at the end of the day, I like to be me on the podcast. And a podcast isn't a podium interview. It's not the same thing. Like if you're tuning into a podcast, I want to be as authentic as possible. When I'm on a podium and I win a race, I'm on the podium. I got to be more thank my sponsors, mention the team, do things like that. But in a podcast, I feel it's more personal, and I give people the opportunity to get to know who I am, and that's why a lot of our guests really shine on our show. Like a lot of people said, it was the best they've ever heard Kenny Roberts, or the best they've ever heard Wayne Rainey, or the best they've ever heard Ryan Sipes, Travis Pastrana, because we're so cut and dry, authentic that if people don't like it, they don't have to listen. It's a free podcast. You don't have to listen to it. You can just press the X button and go do something else. But it's fun for me that way, where I can just be myself. If I had to force something that wasn't like me, I don't think I'd want to do it anymore. So it's been the more me that I can be, the better and more fun I have doing the show. And it being fun is the reason why I keep doing it. I have a 6-year-old who races. I have a newborn baby. I work for Moto America. I do so many other things that could occupy my time, but the podcast is more of like a passion project where I don't get paid an awful lot of money. Like we got some sponsors that help us out, but at the end of the day, it's sort of something that I like to look back on and be like, man, it was so cool to talk to so and so or get that info out there. And at the end of the day, not all your accomplishments in life need to be money driven. And some of those things that I've done with the podcast are really special to me.
Yeah, and that's really key too, is you allow that casual environment. So not only can you sort of be yourself and say what you want, your guests as well.